Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that honestly sounds like it was pulled straight out of a sci-fi blockbuster. We're going from science fiction to self-healing reality. It's a wild journey from biological inspiration all the way to some mind-bending material science that literally challenges everything we thought we knew about how the physical world works. Let's get into it.
So, let's start with a really relatable question. Why is it that your skin can heal a cut, but your phone screen absolutely can't? I mean, think about it. If you take a piece of blue tack or two water droplets and push them together, they just naturally merge back into a single piece, right? That's because they're sticky or they naturally flow. But the hard materials we rely on every single day, our screens, our car parts, infrastructure, once they break, they stay broken. We just kind of accept this as a fact of life. But why?
Section 1. Why things stay broken.
Okay, so to figure out how to make things heal, we first have to solve this fundamental molecular mystery. Why don't solid objects, especially metals, just fuse back together when you mash their broken pieces into each other? Educator Steve Mould has this brilliant explanation of how fast things happen at the microscopic level. See, a metal is basically a perfect repeating lattice of ions. When you slice it in two, you'd think, hey, I can just push those perfect lattices back together. But the exact moment you make that cut, those fresh surfaces are exposed to the air. Almost instantaneously, oxygen rushes in, reacts with the metal, and forms this invisible oxidation layer. This microscopic barrier acts like a shield. It requires a massive amount of activation energy to overcome. So you can't just push them together because, well, the chemical opportunity has literally already vanished.
Moving on to Section 2, Extrinsic healing, the hidden glue.
Right, so scientists hit a massive roadblock here. If the environment ruins the chance for materials to naturally rebond, how do we fix it? Well, the initial answer was just to mimic biology. We really need to understand the two main technological paths here. First, there's extrinsic healing. This relies on hidden reservoirs of chemicals preloaded right into the material, kind of like a built-in first aid kit. Then there's intrinsic healing, which is basically the holy grail. This is where the fundamental chemistry of the material itself allows it to flow, reorganize, and perfectly rebond without any extra ingredients. But let's look at that extrinsic approach first.
And this extrinsic approach is brilliantly illustrated in the complete cinematic experimental video on self-healing material demonstration presented by Dr. Chem. Just like it's showcased in that amazing demonstration, the first generation of self-healing materials, which were actually developed by researchers at the Beckman Institute, uses microscopic capsules. The quote here really hits the nail on the head. You can think of these microcapsules like tiny eggs. When the material undergoes mechanical damage, like say a crack starts to form, that crack literally tears these tiny eggs open. A liquid-filled core spills out into the crack and acts like a superglue to bond the fractured faces back together. It's such an elegant autonomic response.
But you know, science didn't just stop at microscopic eggs. Look at these advanced systems. The University of Illinois developed this incredible bio-inspired 3D microvascular network. Just like your veins deliver blood to a scratch on your arm, microscopic channels in the material deliver a liquid monomer directly to a structural crack. That monomer then reacts with a solid catalyst embedded in the coating to heal the damage. And the crazy part? It can do this repeatedly. Meanwhile, the T2 Portal team developed this rapid-healing ballistic armor. It uses solid outer layers that actually snap back after a puncture, while the viscous liquid middle layer instantly solidifies the moment it's exposed to oxygen. They literally turned oxygen, the exact thing that stops metals from healing, into the trigger for their healing process. How cool is that?
Section 3, Intrinsic healing, the power of dynamic polymers.
Now, as amazing as those extrinsic systems are, they do have a fatal flaw. They can eventually run out of their liquid healing agents. And that brings us to the ultimate goal of material science, intrinsic healing. This is where the material itself acts like a dynamic, living system. But there is a core engineering challenge we have to talk about, which is visualized really well in this comprehensive chemical reviews paper. Basically, there's a massive trade-off. Materials that heal really quickly are usually very soft. Think like gelatin. On the flip side, materials that are incredibly strong and structurally sound take a super long time to heal, or they require a ton of heat. Breaking that trade-off, that is the current frontier right now.
So the secret sauce to intrinsic healing actually lies in something called dynamic bonds. Unlike traditional polymers that are locked in permanently the second they're manufactured, dynamic bonds can reversibly break and reassemble. Imagine a material that can undergo a polymerization or cross-linking reaction right at room temperature, over and over again, triggered by things like heat, UV light, or honestly just physical contact. And the absolute best part is that the material doesn't become all sticky like blue tack in the process, it fully maintains its structural integrity.
Dr. Samuel Root from Stanford gives us such a perfect way to visualize this. He compares these dynamic polymers to a completed Lego set, but with a major twist: they're flexible assemblies. These customized molecular units are attached in flexible chains. So when damage occurs, the Lego pieces don't permanently shatter. They just detach, patiently waiting for the right trigger to snap perfectly back into place. And those Stanford researchers took this Lego concept to an absolutely astonishing level with self-healing electronics. You see, complex electronics need multiple discrete layers, some incredibly thin, like under 100 micrometers thin. The problem is, when self-healing materials melt to repair a crack, the layers tend to mix together and completely ruin the device. But Dr. Root and Dr. Michalek engineered polymers using materials you'd actually find in contact lenses and paintballs, specifically PDMS and PPG. Because these materials are immiscible, which just means they naturally repel each other like oil and water, when the device is cut and then heated to heal, the layers perfectly and autonomously realign themselves. It's a brilliantly elegant solution to what was a massive engineering hurdle.
Section 4. The impossible, self-healing metals.
Okay, so everything we've talked about so far involves plastics and polymers. But what about the hardest structures we build with? Let's escalate this narrative to a recent, completely accidental discovery that overturned literal decades of basic equations in metallurgy. This quote from material scientist Brad Boyce really captures the sheer disbelief of the scientific community. He said, cracks in metals were only ever expected to get bigger, not smaller. For generations, self-healing metals were considered pure science fiction. If a bridge or an airplane engine developed a microscopic fatigue crack from cyclic stress, the math said that crack would inevitably grow until the component failed. End of story. No exceptions.
Well, let's walk through this incredible timeline at Sandia National Laboratories, because it is wild. Back in 2013, Michael Dienkovich published this fringe theory based on computer simulations, suggesting metals could actually weld themselves shut under the right microscopic conditions. Fast forward a full decade to 2023. Two scientists, colleague Hattar and Chris Barr, were running a totally routine electron microscope experiment. They were violently pulling on a nanoscale piece of platinum 200 times a second, really just to see how cracks form. They absolutely weren't looking for self-healing. But about 40 minutes into the experiment, the damage suddenly reversed course. The metal inadvertently fused its own fatigue crack back together, leaving zero trace of the injury.
As Boyce remarked, this was absolutely stunning to watch firsthand. A nanoscale fissure essentially retraced its steps and just vanished in a vacuum. I mean, it proved a 10-year-old theory completely by accident. Now, sure, while it was observed at the nanoscale in a vacuum, this opens an entirely new doorway in physics. The equations literally have to be rewritten.
Section 5. The future of self-healing.
So we've gone from liquid-filled eggs to oil and water electronics to literal metals healing themselves on camera. Let's bring all these concepts together and see exactly how this applies to our future. Summarizing the vast potential of this field is almost dizzying, to be honest, but here's just a fraction of what's on the horizon. We're looking at self-healing artificial skin that can be cut and repaired endlessly for surgical training. We're talking about everlasting lithium-ion batteries where self-healing polymers prevent the internal degradation that eventually kills our phones. We are developing uncrackable structural ceramics for aircraft engines that use oxidation, the exact process that ruins metals, to actually seal cracks mid-flight. And perhaps most importantly, this is a very real path to reducing the 400 million metric tons of annual plastic waste. We're talking about creating intrinsically sustainable, highly recyclable plastics that just don't need to be thrown away when they get damaged.
So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. We are stepping into an era where the objects we rely on will behave a little more like living tissue and a whole lot less like static, disposable objects. When our devices, our infrastructure, and our machines are built to inherently heal themselves from the wear and tear of daily use, what does the future of manufacturing even look like? It's a massive paradigm shift that's going to completely change the economics and the sustainability of our entire world. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on the fascinating microscopic miracles happening in material chemistry today.